Good afternoon. In the latest developments to the Putco bus strike, which of course is legally unprotected, there's been news from protesting workers that a last-minute court challenge to force the employer to reconsider its plans to fire those who are on strike has failed at the Labour Court in Johannesburg. Workers continue to camp outside the Dobsonville and Newclare Putco bus depots. Our reporter Tumaole Mohlaoli is at the Dobsonville Putco depot today.
In another twist to this particular labour action, the Labour Court here in Johannesburg has now passed a ruling which should have some impact to the strike, the wildcat strike. Well, let's find out from Tumaole about what the position of the Labour Court is and what NUMSA's position is. Does the Labour Court say that the workers are within their rights to hold this industrial action, or is it compelling them to go back to work, or is it giving the company powers to dismiss them?
The fact of the matter is that this will, in our view, is not the solution to the crisis. The solution to the crisis is for Putco to pay workers what is due to them.
Now, does Putco have a leg to stand on when it pleads poverty, saying it does not have the money? Workers are incensed, saying that this is absolutely not true. Where do workers get that kind of confidence? And maybe perhaps for those of our viewers who don't have the background, many workers are saying they're willing to work, they just need what's due to them. And if it's not a winnable situation, they want to walk away peacefully, but with what's due to them. Why are they saying that?
Workers at Putco have every right to make that demand, and that's part of the reason why there's so much anger that you're seeing in some of these protests. It's because workers know that according to Putco's own finances, they can afford this increase. So in 2020, when the bus passenger sector signed the wage agreement, of which Putco itself is a party to the South African Road Bus Passenger Bargaining Council, in 2020, there was an agreement that all workers in the bus passenger sector would receive a 6% across-the-board increase. Now, for you to get out of paying that, you must apply to the Exemptions Committee of the Bus Passenger Council. Putco has made that application 3 times, and they have lost 2 out of the 3 times. Of the 3 times that they have applied, they have lost. The most recent loss occurred in April of this year, where the commissioner said, based on your finances, you can afford this increase. Based on the fact that you, Putco management, paid yourselves a 7% increase, and then also paid one of the shareholders who owns 49% of the company 60 million rand. So you don't get to come here and preach and claim that you can't afford. You are demonstrating to me, even when I look at your finances, that you can afford. And she even gives recommendations about how this payment can be made out over 3 payments. This is her ruling. And our members are aware of that. And this is what has incensed them. This is what has angered them. Because this is not a company that cannot afford. This is purely a company that is acting out of selfishness and greed and is refusing to give workers what is due to them. And this is why they are so angry. On top of that, they're extremely arrogant. NUMSA General Secretary Comrade Irvin Jim tried to sit down with the management of Putco yesterday. Unfortunately, that meeting did not go well. It barely lasted 30 minutes because the management of Putco walked out of the meeting.
I will leave it there. Thank you very much, as always. That is, of course, NUMSA's national spokesperson, Tumaole, just giving us the overview of what this particular judgment means. Some bad news for the workers who have been basically fighting for their rights for the duration of this week and beyond, saying that this strike, which has its roots about 2 to 3 years back with that particular wage dispute, could end in bad news, which means they could lose their jobs. However, the union is saying to workers they should go back and should try to work their way back into a position of safety, meaning that it's now up to them to try and work within the parameters that have been set by Putco. For now, the union is saying that it will not, of course, give up the struggle because the workers' demands in principle are correct. For Newzroom Afrika on channel 405, I'm Tumaole Mohlaoli. I'll start the Labour Court in Johannesburg.